Everybody's not here today. So today, Live with Barb and...
Let the legend unfold. You better come and get it. We'll sell your home, son. Day after it's listed. Get you a loan, son. Whatever bank you visit. Answer your phone, son. This is your boy, Matt Pitt. I'm taking over this market.
Hey everyone, good morning. Welcome to Live with Barb and Ray. But Ray's not here. Today it is Live with Barb and...
Marty!
Marty! We have Marty
Marty's in the
McFly
house.
with us today.
Got my hoverboard.
You
This
got
is
your
what I
hoverboard?
Rode in here. Actually, no, I rode my DeLorean in here.
You rode your DeLorean up in the
Drove
parking
my
lot.
DeLorean in.
And then you rode your hoverboard into the building.
That's exactly how it went.
Exactly how it went. You went flying by staff.
Yep.
Yeah. So obviously it's day before Halloween. We're having some fun around here. Fun fact, Barb does not own any costumes.
You did
but
dress up. You dressed
did.
up as Barbara Betts.
I did. I dressed up as Barbara Betts because, you know, I'm Barb here.
Yeah.
So I dressed up as Barbara Betts.
Yeah.
But so tell us about your infatuation with Marty McFly and that you really own a DeLorean.
I really do own a DeLorean. I have liked the movie since I was a kid. Always wanted one. Bought it.
Me too, but I never went and bought a DeLorean or dressed up as Marty McFly.
Yeah, and even have the shoes. Let's see.
Oh, gosh.
Last
Yes,
time
he
it was
does have the
socks.
shoes. Look at these. I mean, come on. This is commitment.
And the jacket, if you remember, this is the one from the second movie that you it like sucks up
Yeah.
and it's supposed to fit. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't think they can hear you, but your jacket makes noise.
Yes.
And apparently he has the full get up, the full costume that when they're in the like lab costumes, right?
I have the normal Marty McFly costume with
What's
his.
the normal Marty
It's
McFly
like
costume?
he's wearing jeans and a gingham shirt and like the.
Oh, like the pocket protector, like the nerdy
No.
Marty McFly costume.
Yeah, kind
You
of.
fit that role
the
really
red
well.
life vest.
You
when
fit
he-
that role
Thank
really
you.
well. You're welcome.
Thank you. I am
Anyway.
kind of a nerd.
Okay, let's see if we can take ourselves seriously today because we have so many things to talk to you about. So let's get right into it. I want to talk about a great broker legal panel that we had last week. So if you don't know, we bring your brokers and your managers into PWR, and John Giardinelli, our association attorney, helps facilitate it. Someone from Sierra MLS is always there, either Art or Ed. This time it was Ed. And then we had a fantastic attorney who doesn't sue realtors, he defends realtors. And he's not really involved in organized real estate from the association perspective, so he just really defends us, like we would call him if we had an issue. And he brought some frightening things to our attention, but also really educated us on what realtors are getting sued for. And one of the things that shocked me the most, and we talked about this before, is that realtors aren't checking title before they take a listing.
It's funny because whenever we hear about lawsuits from attorneys, it's things that we go, "Are you serious?"
Yeah, really, that's happening. And let's talk about this as if we have members watching who are brand new, or who have never sold a home before, or maybe are getting your license. When we say check title, we don't mean you call up the title company and you have to get a prelim and you have to have them do a bunch of digging. You can do that if you need it. But we just mean simply checking Realist in our MLS, which is effectively title data that's being pushed to Realist that will show you who the owners of record are.
And just get their names and make sure you're
Really
meeting
simple.
with those people.
Right? Make sure whoever's signing your contract is who's supposed to be signing your contract. And then the other thing is that's how you're going to know if it's in a trust or not. And if it's in a trust and the people appearing before you aren't living, meaning a living trust, meaning if they've already passed away, then you better find out from the trust paperwork who's supposed to be signing the contract.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple lawsuits going on right now where realtors had the wrong people sign the listing agreement, proceeded to escrow. Buyers are now under contract. Buyers have now done inspections and things like that. And buyers are a little cranky when they find out that they can't buy the house because the wrong people signed the listing agreement. I just really can't believe this goes on.
And taking it a step further, what we talked about earlier is you need 2 signatures to sell the house.
Yes.
And let's push for that.
Let's
because
make sure you
there's lawsuits coming out of that too.
Yeah, don't just, I know that there's a lot of information out there, and we're not going to say it's right or wrong, but my personal business practice, let's just talk about what we do personally, is I don't list a home, meaning it does not go in the MLS, it does not go on the market until I have both signatures, period, end of story. If there's more than there could be 3 signatures.
Yeah, I was going to say, or it could be 1. It might be 1 person on title, that's okay. But if it's a husband and wife, make sure everybody's on the same page before you put the property on the market.
Right? Because just because one party says the other one's on board, they may not be.
Yeah.
So the other thing that they brought to our attention is there's an attorney that's working on their first, and it may not be the first, it's just the first time they've seen this, a DRE revocation case. And revocation means they're trying to take the agent's license over advertising. We've never talked about that before, have we? Back to the Future. Have you ever remembered us talking about advertising?
Just every episode.
Just every single time. It's state law. Department of Real Estate, these attorneys are telling us, are going through Facebook. They're going through social media. He said it's the first time that the Department of Real Estate has had an avenue where they don't have to leave their desk to find things out. And this is apparently it's a team who's been egregiously advertising without the broker's information. Like, I'm assuming severely.
Yeah.
And they're straight out suggesting a revocation of their license.
And I think what we need to stress to people is it's not just teams. If you are a single agent and you're advertising on Facebook, on whatever it is, and it happens all the time where I see an agent put a Facebook post, I got this brand new listing, and I start digging a little bit, and you need to dig before you can figure out who that realtor works for.
Exactly.
That's bad.
Exactly.
That's very bad,
Yeah.
and that's what they're going to start looking at, and people are going to start getting in trouble.
And we had Carlo Banky, who is a DRE commissioner, investigator at the Department of Real Estate from the LA office, and he was at our legal update that we just did. If you didn't attend, you missed out.
Yeah.
They're free, by the way. Have we ever mentioned they're free? And I love how he phrased it. He kind of phrased it as, listen, there's no really, it's black and white. You have to put your broker on everything.
Yeah.
But it's how egregious is it, and it's how blatant is it. And someone asked about open house signs, and he kind of giggled. And I think that it's
Who asked about open house signs? If you can't tell, it's a pet peeve of mine, but okay.
Yeah, but you can tell where he was like, it should be on open house signs too, but he really went down into it's the advertising to the public over a property or your services that they're really concerned about. So it should be on everything: open house signs, for sale signs, marketing, flyers, social media posts, Facebook posts. He did mention they might be making an adjustment to it, so we'll stay tuned on that. You'll hear it here first. But
Always.
Put your broker's information on it. You're not the broker. Unless you are the broker, of course, then you're okay. But you have to put your broker on everything because you are not the broker of record. You're a broker associate, but you're not the responsible broker.
And I have my logo. We all have our logos and what we like to advertise.
But you have your company logo next to it.
I actually had my logo and my company logo made together.
Good
so
for
it's
you.
one file.
So then you never
can.
can.
So if I send it to anybody, it's just one file. So it's not like, do this and
That's
do this.
a great idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea, is it's one kind of merged logo. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just get your broker's permission, and there's nothing wrong with that.
And I've said it before, we've talked about it, but as a little reminder, when you're on Facebook, I have an iPhone. I don't know how droids and all those work, but you can do like auto-populated text. And I've said it before. Mine is DDD, disclose, so that when I post a picture of a house, I just, at the end of it, I put a space and then I do DDD, and then it auto-populates Ray Fernandez, blah, 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 license number, and it's done.
Yeah,
and
mine's BB for my initials, and because I'm never going to type BB in a sentence. You got to find things that you're not going to normally type, otherwise you'll really mess yourself
up. Always like,
exactly, yeah. So you heard it here first, and second, and third, and fourth, and I don't know, it might be the 100th time we've talked about it, and we'll keep talking about it because it's state law. Oh, another fun fact. So I taught not our first, but a new live code of ethics class at the association on Monday. And great, we had a ton of people in the room, so thank you for caring about code of ethics. And we are doing it again in December and multiple times next year, so make sure you come. But do you know it's always said in our code of ethics? Always said, since 1986.
What is always said? Is that what you said?
No, it's always been said in our code of ethics since 1986 that realtors are supposed to advertise their broker in a prominent manner. It's always said that in our code of ethics. So when you all lost your Kool-Aid that the state of California made this a law, it always was in your code of ethics.
Yeah.
Always. Go read it. When I read that to this class, they were like, whoa. It's always been there.
Be good out there. and
behave.
Do the right things.
Yes. So moving on. So Ray and I are both going up to San Francisco next week to the National Association of Realtors annual conference. And I'm an NAR director. Ray goes on behalf of the association as the president. And we go up there not just to go to San Francisco. We go up there to meetings, governance meetings, education meetings, and a board of directors meeting. And a very important new nationwide rule is going to be voted on regarding the MLS, and it's called MLS 8.0 is what the rule is called, and Ray's going to read it to us.
I'm going to read it to you. Within 24 hours of marketing a property to the public, the listing broker must submit the listing to the MLS for cooperation with other MLS participants. Public marketing includes, and then there's about 3 or 4 sentences. I crossed it all out. Everything.
Everything.
A Facebook post, a sign out front, anything and everything you can think of. If somebody else, pretty much, essentially, if somebody else knows that property is for sale,
it even talks
it
about. It even mentions
brokerage
caravans. It mentions marketing caravans. It mentions pretty much everything. So
yeah,
this is going to be a big one, guys, because you all are very blessed to have CRMLS and have the CRMLS current exclusion process where you can pre-market a property if you want. You can do a coming soon if you want. I don't do them, but typically you could do it. And then when you do put it in the MLS, it has to go in on the MLS with 7 days on the market or 15 or 30 or 2 or whatever you were doing. This will basically take that away. This makes it that within 24 hours of marketing a property, period. No opportunity for exclusion, no nothing. Now, CRMLS is very much involved with this rule. CRMLS has very much got people involved. The MLS policy committee is, I believe, Ed said, about 194 realtor members from across the United States. This isn't just a Southern California thing.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. We think we just have this problem in California.
No.
We think we just have this problem in Southern California.
This is an NAR thing. This isn't CAR. This isn't PWR. This is national making this rule for the whole country.
And you know what's interesting? Bright MLS, which is a big MLS on the East Coast. I forget exactly where it's at. I think it's the East Coast. Don't quote me on that. But it's the second largest MLS, I believe, in the nation. And they already instituted this rule and instituted, I believe, a $5,000 fine if you break it. And realtors, I've been in some Facebook groups, are like freaking out. And so I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
This is easy. This means you get a listing, you keep it close to the chest.
Yeah.
You don't tell anybody until you're ready to put it and share it with everybody.
So brings up a point, something else I forgot about the broker panel. The other thing Andrew was talking about, the other attorney that we had there, and I forgive me, I don't remember his last name, but he mentioned that he's seeing a spike in sellers suing their listing agent, which doesn't usually happen, over fiduciary duty, because these agents are going in and saying, let's not put it in the MLS, let's just put it in my private listing club or my closed listing group with my office, or I'm going to just go find you the buyer, aka a pocket listing.
Yeah.
And the sellers finding out post-closing that they could have gotten a significant amount more for their home if it had been on the open market. And that's John Jarnelli keeps saying. You guys all are trying to skirt the system. You guys are all trying to figure out a way to defeat the disruptors and all these other different business models that we all want to try to say, you know, that people are trying to say are bad, which they're just a business model. They're not bad. And at the same time, you're violating your fiduciary duty by not doing the best thing for your client.
You had said it a little while ago. I think it's worth repeating. That happens when you sell somebody's house, and then the neighbor comes over and says, you sold your house? You didn't put a sign up. I didn't even know. My friend would have paid you $50,000 more, $20,000 more. What's that seller going to do? They're going to sue you.
That is such a great example, because don't think that's not happening.
Yeah.
Don't think that there isn't people out there who are like, oh my God, I would have loved to live next door to you. I've been dying for that home to go on the market. Or the neighbor wanted to buy it for a family member and they would have paid XYZ, and then they tell the seller that, and the seller hears it from other people, and all of a sudden the seller's like, you know, I know you had me sign an exclusion, but you didn't explain to me what that really meant and what the significant impact was. So just be careful out there. Talk to your brokers before you make those decisions. Everything has a reason, and there is legitimate reasons for excluding something from the MLS. There's legitimate reasons, but it's not just so you can sell another house.
Yeah.
It can't be for that reason. We are really excited about. Oh no, we're not excited about this. We are excited about this.
Okay, so
sorry, it's just not exciting we have more exciting stuff coming.
This is a CRMLS rule change that will be effective November 1st.
Another one that shocks us.
Essentially, right now, I think it's even crazy that people don't list a property, and right when you list it, you put the pictures in. Right now, the rule is you have 5 days to put a picture into the MLS. That's being changed to 2 days on November 1st, which is Friday.
Yeah.
So if you list a property and you don't have pictures in there within 2 days, and the fine's going up to $1,500.
No, I think that's a different one. That's for not having a written listing agreement.
Never mind. I retract.
I don't know how much the fine is, but I think this is for not having a written listing agreement. Maybe it is, though. I don't know exactly what 12.8 is, but just know that it's now going to 2 days. But, you know, I don't understand how it benefits a seller to have a listing in the... And the reason I always say benefits a seller is because that's our job. Our job is to take care of our sellers and represent their best interests. So when is it a good idea to put a property in the MLS and not have photos for 5 days?
Yeah, you guys do realize when you put it in the MLS, it gets syndicated to everything. And if you don't have a photo in there, it gets syndicated without a photo. And then sometimes those websites that it gets syndicated to, they don't pull from the MLS as often. So that website might never get photos.
Or if, let's just say you waited 5 days to put it in, and you're in a market where we're getting a ton of new listings, you're going to get suppressed down in the feed. When you add in those photos, all these other new listings are going to be on top of yours.
Yeah.
And that's prime time for people to see your client's home. So I hope a lot of you are listening to us going, why would anybody wait 5 days to put their pictures in the MLS? But apparently it's a problem, or CRMLS would not be changing the rule.
Yeah.
And I think Ed did say that like 98% of the time they go in within 2 days. I mean, it is a small percentage, but 2% of a lot of listings is more than it should be, in my opinion. Now let's talk about some exciting stuff.
MLS
One
Touch.
exciting thing.
We've talked about MLS Touch before, and they've upgraded some of their features. Free for all PWR members. So if you don't have MLS Touch, get your phone out right now, download it. It's super simple. And what I love about MLS Touch is that you can change the branding, and then you can share your link with your clients. And then what they've done now is they have brought in Matrix data. So all your contacts in Matrix are now showing up in there. There's Realist tax data. You can edit your listings. You can edit
minor
public, minor stuff, public remarks, agent remarks, and listing price.
And what I love about the Matrix data is you can now see the client's favorites online. So if you log into Matrix on your desktop, you can see the favorites that your client saved from MLS Touch. What I love about MLS Touch is that the clients can do their own search in MLS Touch. You know, they can't do that in Matrix. In Matrix, we have to set up the search for them, and that irks me. I think the client should be able to go in there and search as well. But with MLS Touch, they can do their own search, and then if they find it, let's just say that they're looking in an area that you didn't know they were even looking in. How many times does that happen? And if they save that property, you're going to get notified. Well, you don't necessarily get, well, you can get notified with push notifications in the app, but you can also see it online of what they're saving, and I think it's fantastic. And I have every app known to man on my phone, and I've tried them all, and this is the best search app. It blows all other ones away. And what I love is when the client downloads it, it calls it MLS Client. And so they really feel like they're getting the MLS, which is kind of cool.
Buyer-broker agreement.
Buyer-broker agreement. So that's another thing that's coming up a lot. We've talked about it here many times on Live with Barb and Ray. The attorneys mentioned it numerous times at this update I was just at. And the real reality is that they're seeing a spike in buyers suing their buyer's agent, which is unusual, for not explaining to them what a buyer's agent does and doesn't do. And the real reality is, guys, we're not explaining to a buyer what we do until they sign their purchase agreement. And let me tell you, even then, you're not explaining them what you do. But by the time they've signed the purchase agreement, you've already done a lot of work with them typically. You've shown them homes, you've talked about financing, you've explained how, you've talked about negotiations, you've talked about market value, and all of that is agency. And where are you creating that agency relationship? So the BRNN, John keeps talking about it till he's blue in the face. And I'm going to be transparent. I wasn't using it either, but we are now.
I'm guilty of that too.
But this one, the BRNN, guys, again, is non-exclusive, not for compensation, which just means you're not holding a buyer to, you have to work with me, and you're not holding a buyer to a fee. But what you are doing is explaining to the buyer what you will do and what you won't do and what our scope of duty is as buyer's agents. And the state of California says that our agency is supposed to be signed as soon as the agency relationship is created. And I hate to break it to everyone, but as working with a buyer, when you do that buyer consultation and then you go out and look at homes and you start talking about terms and you start talking about negotiations, you've already created a buyer agency relationship and you don't have anything signed.
So the BRNN. You know why I've never liked using buyer broker agreements? Because it feels like a prenup. I want to trust the people I'm working with, and I'll explain to them, I don't get paid unless you buy a house from me, and that kind of stuff, so I do my best to explain it. But it always felt like a prenup. I had never really thought of doing the non-exclusive, not for compensation.
Yeah.
That's easy. It's just, hey, I'm going to have you sign something as me working as your buyer's agent. This just kind of explains a little bit of the process.
And me personally, you know, we haven't talked a ton about the NAR lawsuit because we really don't know the answers. Just know that there isn't a huge lawsuit against NAR and some major brokerages, and it's got past the whatever it is when you try to make a motion to dismiss. It didn't work, so now it's going to discovery. So now it's really a lawsuit. It's probably going to take years to shake out. But what everyone in the industry is saying is that likely something's going to change from this lawsuit. And it may be an unintended consequence. It may not be something formal. But if we did have to go to some kind of agreement like this because of buyer compensation changing, I would rather know how to use it, and I would rather know how to present it before I'm forced to do so. So just a thought. Look at it. Download it. Read it. That would be a great start. Just download it and read it. And it would really help you in procuring cause situations too. So, and you know, I don't really want to plug him. Do we have to?
John's Ranch, you should watch it. Okay, we're done.
John did a great rant on AB 1482 and statewide rent control, which we've talked about and is signed into law. PWR is going to have a just cause and rent control something addendum. I don't know exactly what it's called, that you're going to have to give to your clients when they're buying income property, or, you know, landlords are going to have to give to tenants. There's a whole, you know, now new world that we have, and Ray and I aren't qualified to talk about it all, and there's so many rules that go into this law, so just go watch John's rants.
And maybe
don't we sound so excited?
Yeah. Watch it, but don't be excited about watching it. Just watch it.
Just make sure you comment and say, I only came to watch because Barb and Ray told me to.
Do that.
Yeah, do that. Do that. Yeah, tell him that. That would work, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, man, I lost my train of thought. Oh, we'll have Jay put a link down underneath the video on the link to the CAR, their white paper thing that they did.
Yes, yes. CAR did a great white paper on AB 1482. Read it. It's very informative, and it explains to you all of the nuances. Watch John's rant, and then, you know, we might make a trade show video when we go to NAR.
Should we go do what we did again?
So, tell them what we did.
If you hadn't seen it, we were at was it NAR? Where we
because just so you know, NAR has the largest trade show in, I swear, North America. It's like it's like a bazaar. It's like, come here, little girl. I give you something. Like, that's what it is.
Here's a squishy house.
Yeah, here's a squishy house. You need a tchotchke. You need swag. I heard it's not called tchotchke. It's called swag.
Finger spinners.
But then they scan our badge, and then they send us a bunch of stuff. But it's still fun.
But so last year, we walked around, and we collected everything we could collect. Remember, if you watch, we dumped it out in the middle and just kind of like went through it. But
I think we should do that again. And we'll bring them all back. We'll bring back our favorites.
We'll just lay them out on the table.
We'll bring back our favorites, and who knows, maybe our realtor friends will get a marketing idea. Because I still call them tchotchkes, and I was told they're called swag.
Oh, they're tchotchkes.
It's called swag now. You like tchotchkes better? I like tchotchkes too, right? Yeah. So, Barb and Ray will take San Francisco next week.
Yep.
Barb and Marty.
Not Marty anymore.
Maybe he'll bring his hoverboard and hover across the streets of San Francisco.
Don't tempt me.
You would kill yourself on that thing.
It's not real.
Yeah, but if you know...
Everyone always, when I walked in this morning, everyone's like, where'd you get the hat? Where'd you get the jacket? I had to tell Ghislaine, have you ever heard of a little thing called Amazon?
Yeah, you can get anything. Yeah.
A hoverboard.
A hat.
A hat.
Some air shoes.
The shoes light up too, but the batteries are dead. So.
Fail.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. We're signing off.
Thanks for watching, and stay classy out there, PWR.
Day after it's listed, get you a loan, son. Whatever bank you visit, answer your phone, son. This is your